Today is a very, the topic, Akshay and I were just speaking, it's not a broad industry topic, but if you want to understand the industry, you've got to know what to do with with our app, with InvestorAi. So, but we're glad you've joined. And Akshay, I think we'll get started, and then
Okay.
we'll get started.
Thank you, Shruti. As Shruti observed, I think today we are really talking about InvestorAI. And, we always talk about InvestorAI. What else would we talk about? But we are not sort of starting from a general market thing. But I think, what the reason we are doing this is because we have changed this app so much in the last 3 months. All of your regular users have seen all these changes. It is useful to just take a little step back and recap. Before I start, I'm going to ask Prabal to post one question. I just want to find out how many people are actually users of InvestorAI and how many are not. So, Prabal, if you have that question, would you mind putting it up on the screen? And okay, so most people, there are a few people who are not. So I will make sure that I do talk a little bit about.
Yeah, big split, but yeah, it's great to have.
Most people are users, which is very, very good. And thank you all for coming. So, like I said, understanding InvestorAI is very important because, I feel that what InvestorAI gives you is the ability and the toolkit. It is giving you a Formula One car. But if anybody has sat behind the wheel of a Formula One car, and I once sat on it for 5 minutes, I was scared like hell. I just did not know how to drive it. It is so fast, it goes so quickly, and it is so maneuverable, and you can do dangerous things. I said, this needs training. I don't think InvestorAI is that dangerous, but it does need training. It does need understanding. There are things in it that are not there anywhere else. So it's worth taking a look and seeing what there is. And, again, it's really about empowering you. And, the old Chinese proverb comes to mind that give a man some fish and he will eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, he will eat for a lifetime. So, sexist overtones apart, I think it is actually a good thing. And I think what we're really trying to do is to empower all of you with knowledge, empower all of you with information, so that you can do whatever it is that you wish to do. So let me just go forward. The reason InvestorAI has changed is because of all of you. So, your feedback is what has caused what I believe is tremendous improvement. I've been, part of the build journey from day one. And what I had in mind, what my team had in mind, what all of us had in mind, it was very different. And not completely different, but we had never thought of the kind of things that all of you have given us feedback for. So we owe you a big thanks for improving our product. Okay, and in the last 3 months, we have added functionality. So our philosophy is that we want to give more and more to our paying customers. And in keeping with that same thinking, we are restricting what is now available for free. Our free plan was quite generous, some of it by design, some of it by accident. I'm honestly telling you. But we've now sort of figured that, for free users, you will always be able to see a little bit of what is there. But you will be able to see the trailer. You will not be able to see the movie. So you can watch the trailer for free, but you want to come for the movie, you have to buy a ticket. That is really the philosophy here. So it's kind of useful to take stock, and that's what I'm sort of going to do in the next few minutes. So there's a brand new homepage, and all of you will be familiar with it. There's a getting started video for first-time users. We've added a your profile section to show you how you're using InvestorAI. And this is just the beginning. I just wanted a section where we could tell you things that are personal to you. We will be building this hugely. There is a ton of new stuff that is going to come under your profile, but it'll come one by one. So we want to test everything properly before we do it. The wisdom of crowds you're familiar with. It shows you three things: best performer, most viewed insight, and the latest insight. And it shows you by algo, by market. So for US market, it'll be different. For India, it'll be different. For UK, it'll be different. But you will see the best performer on that day, most viewed insights on that day, and latest insights on that day. So it's really useful to see what other people are looking at. Then there is active monitoring, which is called watch list on the homepage. So it shows you the stocks that are tracking. I cleaned up my active monitoring recently, and I added some new ones, and that's why you're seeing 000 everywhere. But there is a color coding here, which I will explain when I go to the app. The red ones means there is a current insight. The gray ones means that there is no current insight, but it's simply something you are tracking. There is an explore feature that has some really handy shortcuts basically, and we have added a configure section so you can actually see only stuff that you want to see and get rid of things so just removing the clutter, as it were. Okay, so the homepage is quite interesting. Now, one of the things you may or may not know, you see three dots on the right hand side of every section. If you just press your finger on that, and it will say move position, and then you just drag it up or drag it down. So for instance, if you don't want to see that video getting started, just drag it all the way down, and then you will never need to bother with it. So just rearrange the sections in whichever order that works for you. Then we have completely changed how you see the ideas corner section. There are three configuration views possible. One on the left-hand side is what we call investor view. The middle one is called the trader view, and the right-hand side is called the pro view. In the trader view, you only see, if you're an occasional user, you only like value investing, typically buy and hold, you're not a short-term investor, then these three are sort of okay for you. If you're a regular trader and you like short-term investing, then you will see Alpha 330, both ETF and equity, and you will see the quarterly results tile. And where you're an expert investor and you want access to everything, then you will see everything. And so you can configure it any way you like. Active monitoring. This is, I think, our hidden secret weapon. It is, it started out as a useful feature. I think now it is a it is quite an extraordinary thing. What I have done, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my entire portfolio, which is about 14, 15 stocks, and I'm putting it in active monitoring. So if there is ever any signal on any stock, I would know. I'll give you an example from my own holdings. One of my biggest holdings is a company called Moderna, which makes COVID vaccine. I bought it a long time ago at $91. It is now $342. And I don't know whether to sell or not. So I put it in active monitoring to check whether there was a active insight, and there wasn't. So I said, okay, the price has peaked, I'm going to sell it. So I actually took a selling decision based on what I saw in active monitoring. But it's a long page, so you'll have to scroll all the way down. On the top, you will see price performance for the last 3 months. You will see changes that have happened since you started monitoring. You will see your price alert limits, profit alert, and loss alert. You will see if there is a live insight. You will see if there are any past insights, because there are lots of insights in a stock. It means it's a volatile stock, and if you miss one, you'll probably get another one soon. And then it shows you, very interesting, it shows you similar stocks, just like we do in Alpha 330. So this company is Johnson & Johnson, and there are a number of similar insights to Johnson & Johnson. And finally, you see a play screen comparing the stock with the market. So it's really, really very useful. I would encourage you to use it as much as you can. We have added new ways to personalize. So if you go to the menu and you go to preferences, earlier it was just markets and sectors. Now you're seeing configure view, which is really what I just showed you in terms of changing your ideas corner. And you can now configure active monitoring. Okay, so if you click on that, you can set your own profit and loss alert limits. And the alert will come in your notification section, the bell icon. You can set the default limits here, and you can always add, when you actually go to monitor a stock, if for that stock you want to change the limit, you can. My limit is 1.5% for loss and 3% for profit. And I'll show you when we get to the app. Then we have added 2 new algos. These are only available to our subscribers. There is ETF, and of course, these are global ETFs. So, this does not apply strictly to India. So I realize it may or may not be of interest to everybody. But ETF investing, you can choose from over 1,500 ETFs. Now, you might think that's a lot. But the fact is there are over 10,000 ETFs in the world. No, I'm sorry, there are 10,000 ETFs only in America. Then you add Europe, you add UK, and you add other smaller places. You're talking about a huge number. Now, how do you select from there? So we have pre-curated 1,500 ETFs. And then we allow you to select from the best of the best. Okay, so it's a very, very interesting algo if you really want to buy an ETF. And a lot of people like ETFs because they're very low cost. They give you diversification. They also give you exposure to what you want. And then we have taken ETF to the next level by applying the Alpha 330 algo to ETFs. Now, here the universe is even smaller. I think it's just about 100 or 170 ETFs. Because there we take the underlying holdings of the ETF. We look for alpha signals there. And then we aggregate it at the ETF level to see what the ETF signal is going to be. And if the ETF has a signal, chances are very strong it's going to do well. So this is a massively powerful algo. And again, for those of you who have subscribed to the Global Pro plan, please do look at it. And the chances are you have a trading account in the US, then you can immediately buy it also. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is restrictions for free users. Now, this has just been introduced, and I'm sure many of you are free users, and you must be wondering, ye kya ho gaya? Suddenly, we're not able to see things that we were able to see earlier. Now, I'm sorry, guys, this is by design. This is not, by accident. The purpose of the free plan is for you to see the trailer. So you can see, you can test what our thing looks like. And once you test drive our app, then you should have enough information to decide whether you see value in it. If you don't see value in it, don't subscribe. If you see value in it, then please subscribe. Our subscriptions are very reasonable. So just to tell you, we have kept our subscriptions flat across the world. So we have now launched in UK, we're live in UK, and our subscription price in UK is £15 a month. In India, it's 1,500 rupees a month. Exchange rate differences apart, it's exactly the same. But for India, we have added a special plan that is what we call Domestic Pro. That is only for India because I realize most people cannot trade in international markets. And we have discounted that hugely. So the list price is 799 rupees a month. And if you take a longer subscription, you can get it as little as 640 rupees a month. So, I'm of the view that 640 rupees is very, very reasonable. So if you are asking you to subscribe, we're not being unreasonable or something. And if you don't even see that value, then you know what? Then please stay with the free plan, and then you'll get what little you get. So that's our thinking. I'm very happy to take your feedback and hear from you, but I'm just being very transparent and open, because at the end of the day, guys, your support is hugely important to us. Your subscription is very important to us because that is what pays the bills. And that is what allows us to enhance and change and improve ourselves ultimately giving you a better product. So, there is a alignment of interests here. But I will also say that if you think that that is not enough value for 600 rupees a month, then don't subscribe. Then please stay with the free plan, but you won't get much. The last thing I want to talk about here before I go on to the app itself is that some things remain the same for now. Okay, we have come up with some really interesting additions in play. I don't want to, reveal more than I should right now. But what these changes will do, it will make play massively, massively more powerful. A lot of you have been, a lot of people use play as a buy signal. And I understand that. But the changes we are bringing in, you can also then interpret it for a sell signal. Not a sell signal, but to guide you whether you should be thinking of selling or not at the time. It is really incredibly, incredibly powerful. And I'm warning you right now that those features will only be available to our subscribers, because that's where we feel our primary loyalty should lie. Those are immensely powerful features. We're not going to increase the subscription, of course, but they will be available. And we will probably hold a separate webinar once we are ready with this, just like we did for FTM portfolios. And we will introduce it to our subscribers, first of all, because they should have first information about any significant new thing that we are planning. Finally, I want to tell you that our next webinar is going to be on FTM portfolios. We did one for our subscribers where we went through it in great detail. We're now opening it up for everybody. But remember, there are some very interesting benefits that we are working on. They will only be available to people who are our subscribers. Of course, everybody is welcome to use FTM portfolios. It's available to everyone, but the special benefits that we will come up with will be available only to our subscribers. So, so please do become a subscriber. So let me stop here, and I'm going to now put my phone on the screen so that I can share this.
While you get that up, Akshay, everyone, the Telegram link is up on the chat. Please click through and join the Telegram community.
Okay, so I showed you Investor. So I talked about the homepage, and I showed you that you've seen all the sections and all the tiles, and wisdom of the crowd, best performer, most viewed, latest insight. And as you can see at the bottom, it tells you which algo it is using and which country it is working on it. So that the country is written in a sideways way. This is the watch list. This is my active monitoring stocks. Now, all these are red, which means there is a current insight. And I can look at Best Buy, and it shows me that there's a live insight on the stock. And there are similar insights, similar signals to Best Buy. And there's a whole range of them. Now, I find this very, very useful because, let's go to the Best Buy insight. I'll explain to you why I liked it. So it's now gone up to 13th. Yesterday, it was even lower. And when I set it up, it's a good company. Okay, and I think Best Buy will do well in the post-lockdown period. But I went to Live Info. I looked at the 52-week high and low, and I said 52-week high is $128, and I said no, I wanted to wait for it to go a little lower. So I said, fine, I'll monitor it. Okay, now if I like the sector, and my view is that Best Buy is going to benefit from post-lockdown spending, then any of these companies who are similar will benefit from post-lockdown spending. Okay, so let me take LKQ. I'm just picking one at random. So this is a company called LKQ Corporation. I don't know who they are, But let me just go to live info, and so I can do a little bit of research, and then I can decide whether this is a stock I want to buy. Now, I didn't know this company earlier, but here is an opportunity for me to do a little bit more research. And here the current price is 50.76. 52-week high is 51.68. You can see in the bottom. So no, this is not a good time to buy LKQ. At least that's how I would conclude. So it gives you a ton of stuff that that you can just play around with and sort of do things. And here is just the explore and the configure. You can just go here and it will show you. You'll see these three algos, and I can say no, I don't want to do that. And I told you about these three buttons. So if I wanted to take this, I just put my finger here. It says move position. Just hold your finger at that, and you can move it down. And you can change the order, and you can move it all the way down, so that when I log in, I just start with this. So you can configure the look and feel however you want. I spoke about Ideas Corner, where all these things, all the algos are there. I spoke about ETF investing, so that we covered 372 ETFs in UK, and we covered 1134. So almost 1,500 ETFs are covered. And you can select on so many criteria. You can say, okay, I want geography. And so you can set, well, that's my level 1 selection. My level 2 selection is Asia. And then I can select my further ranking criteria. And I can say select by size. And then it shows me, all the ETFs. And again, I can select and things and go on. So anyway, I just wanted to show this to you. And you're familiar with all the others. Alpha 330 I spoke about. QQQ is a very famous ETF because it represents NASDAQ. If I click on that, so QQQ having a signal means that there is something real, 3% in 30 days. This has done so well. If you go to live info, and I just take 6 months, but 6 months performance is not so fantastic, but go back and look at it 1 year or 2 years. It's just gone up and up and up because technology sector has done so well. So it's really interesting to see a high signal on QQQ. It's already gone 4.1%, but the signal remains high. So, you could still make more money on this one. And that's very interesting. There are no similar stocks concept here. So you go to constituents, and now you can see rank across ETFs, factors used to derive the rank. And these are the top 5 holdings. And it will show you if there is a signal on any one of those companies. There is a signal on Facebook. You can click on that, and you can see here's the Alpha 330 on Facebook, which came on 22nd of July, just day before yesterday. And since then, it's already gone up 5.3%. So it tells, this little algo actually tells you a hell of a lot. Very, very powerful. So this was one thing I was talking about. Then I showed you under preferences, if you go to active monitoring, this is where you can set up loss alert. So I can say, okay, I don't want 1.5. Can I change this to 0.5%? And I can say done, and I can set this as default. Okay, so my changes have been made. Now, if I go back and I go to monitor, and I select any stock, so let me take Axis Bank. No, sorry, I cannot select. I have not selected India.
Yeah, Akshaya, you need to select.
So I have to select India. Then it will allow me to select India stocks. So let me go back to monitor. And now let me see Axis Bank. So I get Axis Bank. And now it will allow me to set a separate limit for Axis Bank if I want. So I can say, okay, set my limit. And for Axis Bank, I'm willing to be a little more patient. So I will go back to my 1.5% just for this one. And my gain, and I can set it at the current market price, which is 755 rupees. Or if it's part of my portfolio, I can go and say, no, I bought Axis Bank at 512 rupees 50 paisa. And so please track on this basis. Okay. So I can customize this quite nicely, and I can say monitor now. And then it will appear on my active monitoring page. If I go back, you can see Axis. Now, Axis is a gray tile, which means that there is no signal on Axis at the moment. But I can go and find out if there was a previous signal, and I can go and see. And no, there is no previous signal. There's no current signal, but there is a signal to HDFC Bank and Karnataka Bank. So if I wanted exposure to an Indian bank, and I wanted to look for a bank where there was a signal, then I have HDFC and Karnataka Bank to look at. And both are good banks, so I can look at any one of them. So HDFC is an old signal from value investing in Algo on the 13th of May. Let me go there. So now it is telling me that HDFC is trading on the 10th percentile, sector rank is 51, which is not bad. And backtesting is kind of okay, not brilliant. So, so I may or may not decide to buy. I could say, okay, show me Karnataka Bank. Now this looks a lot better because valuation is low, 12th percentile. Sector rank is 75, which is fantastic. And backtesting is even better. So between the two, I can say, okay, I want Karnataka Bank. I could equally come out and go to play. And I said, I want to compare Karnataka Bank, Axis Bank with, I can say I want to compare it to HDFC Bank. And then I can see comparison of the two, and between the two, Axis looks a lot better. So, so there's a whole range of stuff that you can play around with. This is what I meant, that active monitoring is such a powerful option. There are many things that you can go from one place to another, and just allows you to play around and explore further. And then any alert that you have will show up in your on your notifications. So I have 41 unread insights, none from value investing, 39 from Alpha 330 equity, 1 from swing trades, and 1 from Alpha 330 ETF. From the stocks I'm monitoring, I have 1 loss alert and 1 profit alert. I can just go to the loss alert, and this is for Clinigen. It's a company I was tracking, and the loss limit has been reached. So, so there are lots of very, very powerful things that sit inside the app. And frankly, it has gotten better. It has gotten a huge amount better, and thanks to all the inputs and feedback from all of you. There are lots of things that we're going to be adding, and you will see them as we go along. So I'm going to stop here, and happy to take any questions.
Just stay on the app, please. Just stay on the app, because I'd like you to just go into any value investing idea. Varun had a question because he wants to understand the graph, the threshold, and what the percentiles mean. I think let's just put it up and just show them.
So let's take. So let me just switch off my UK and US, so you just get some India ones. This is very easy. So let me come back here, and now I'm seeing only India stocks. So let's go to Karnataka Bank, since we're talking about it. And what was the question, Shruti?
The question is, what do these percentiles mean, and what is the threshold? Just explaining the graph.
Right. So if you look at the graph here, what we do is we take every single company we are tracking. We look at the relative valuation with the market for that company, and we do it over a long period of time. I think it's 10 years. And then and when you plot that curve, typically it follows a normal curve. That when the relative valuation at its highest, then it's towards the right of the graph. When relative valuation is the lowest, it's to the left of the graph. Then we say, and if you distribute the whole thing between 0 and 100, below 20 is when we consider it undervalued, and above 20 we consider that this is not undervalued. So when you sort of look at the algo, you will see white tiles and you will see red tiles. Red means the signal is active, which means that the relative valuation is below 20th percentile. So let's take Apollo Alembic Pharmaceuticals. Here you can see the relative valuation is 25th percentile. So it's moved up. When it was generated, it was 11. Now it is 25. So once it is 25, then we don't consider the signal active, but we keep it there for 90 days because it's a 90-day idea. But we change the color so that you can understand, just by looking at it, you can see which ones are active and which ones are not. So let me just take another one. Let's take HDFC Bank. And so here, the threshold dotted line that you see is 20% and 20th percentile, and to the left means it is lower. Okay. Shruti, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, Akshay. Akshay, Takash and I think this was Nitin. They want to know, is it possible to import portfolios into the app? So I said I'll allow you to answer that. Yeah.
Taksh and Prakash, Nitin, and I can see lots of people asking that question. Not at the moment, not in the way you would want it to, but it is coming. It is a very important feature for us, and I will talk about it in a moment. But today, if you want to do it, what I would suggest is that you come out of this, you go to the home page, you click on monitor, you see at the bottom. Okay, if I'm holding HDFC Bank, and I showed you, I think, so I click on this, and I don't need to set limits. I can say monitor now. So now HDFC Bank is part of my monitoring list, and it's a slightly manual exercise, but unless you're holding hundreds of positions, you can quickly add them. Now this way, at least those stocks will be there. It won't show you as a portfolio. We are working on a portfolio module. It is it's a few months away. It's not a few weeks away, but it's 2 or 3 months away, where you will be able to import your portfolio, and then you can set InvestorAi to track your entire portfolio. That is one, and it will show you whenever there is a signal. So that acts like active monitoring. The second thing you'll be able to do is run a portfolio health check at any time. So you can say, please evaluate my portfolio. So this is like when you go to a doctor for annual health checkup. So you do an annual portfolio checkup, except you don't have to do it annually. You can do it every day. There's no point doing it every day, but you can do it, at will. What it will do, it will compare your portfolio to some certain benchmarks we have on volatility, on returns, on Sharpe ratio, and so on and so forth. And then you can query InvestorAi that if I wanted to improve my Sharpe ratio, can you show me stocks that would help do that without sort of changing the portfolio composition in terms of either allocation to industry or sector and so on and so forth. And InvestorAi will be able to show you all that. So it's a very, very powerful feature. It is coming soon. We have done the design, but we haven't sort of gotten around to completing the build. And like I said, it will take a little bit of time, but it will be a very, very interesting feature once it's available.
I think the health check sounds very exciting, Akshay, for our portfolios. Question from Kirti is usually the signal generated will be notified on the next day after partial increase has already taken place. Why can't it be on the same day and live notification immediately?
So just repeat that question, Shruti. I'm not sure I understood it fully.
Yeah, so Akshay, Kirti says, when we generate a signal, we are generating it after a partial increase has taken place because it's usually notified the next day. Why can't it be done on the same day or absolutely immediately, with a live notification?
Okay, I understand. So Kirti, what happens is we work on end of day prices. We don't work on intraday prices. And frankly, one of the reasons, not the only reason, is because intraday pricing is very, very expensive. And once we get enough subscribers, we will have enough money to pay for intraday prices. So please keep subscribing. But the fact is, we work on intraday, end of day price, end of day the previous day. And it's not just the price information that we need. We get 900 items of information for every stock every day from our data sources. That data comes to us like 3 a.m. or something India time, very early morning. And we run our machine and we publish the signals. We used to publish at about 9:15, 9:30. Then a number of people came to us saying, can you please show it to us earlier? So now we have improved it to 8:45. So it is before the market opens. But what you see is signal from a previous day. Now, when the market opens, there is no guarantee it will open at yesterday's closing price. It may open at a higher price, lower price, whatever. So that is a chance you have to take. We will keep trying to improve it a little bit, but expecting us to generate the signal on the previous day based on the closing price is currently not going to be possible because we just don't get the data in time to do that.
Yeah, and like Shailesh on the chat has just said, 8:45 a.m. All our AM India time, all our signals are generated
immediately at that time, Kitty. So so it's not that we are sending a delayed notification, but it's just that as soon as the signal is generated.
A continuation to that is Rohit Margo. He's one of our subscribers. Actually, he asks, do we get email or SMS alerts on actively monitored stocks hitting the triggers on loss or profit? It's notifications only today. So,
but Shruti, it's a good suggestion. If people want it,
if they opt in, yeah, we could.
We don't have that feature, Rohit, but it's a very good suggestion. We will take it we'll put it on our list, and then we'll give you a choice. If you want, let's say, SMS alert, we'll send you an SMS alert. Or an email alert, as you like. It's a good idea. We had not thought of it, but we were thinking everybody would log into InvestorAi all the time. But you are right; that is not a realistic expectation.
That, and also Rohit, because we're now operating in multiple countries, we're also thinking about privacy in a big way. So while we want to do this, and we also don't want it to be like we're using your telephone number and just sending you stuff all the time. So unless you ask for it, I think we just, that was one of the other.
Privacy regulations are very, very strict. And, Europe is very, very tight. India is a little bit easier. And the approach we have taken is that we take the tightest jurisdiction and that becomes our standard. So we don't do some things that you will see some other apps in India do because they don't operate in any other country. Because our view is if we take the strictest view and make and work around that, then whatever we do is available to everybody at the same time. We don't have to sort of think about this should go in India, that should go somewhere else. Because then it just complicates life. You just give the same thing to everybody, then it's identical. That is why we have one app. So what you see in India is what we see in UK and what people will see in America, China, Hong Kong, wherever we launch after that. So it is one global app. And Sriram, before Shruti goes to the next question, thank you so much. So
I was going to read Sriram's message, obviously, Akshay.
Yes, please read it.
Yeah. This is one I want to read every time. In fact, as I read it, Sriram, before I read it, let me tell you, if there was an Olympics for companies, when you speak about agility and speed, I think we would have won. It feels like that. But
and guys, in case you are thinking Sriram does not work for InvestorAi. InvestorAi works for Sriram.
Great. So Sriram says a true sign of a great company is its agility, and especially when driven by suggestions from its stakeholder community. That is what InvestorAi does. From what he has seen, he speaks. From what I have seen when I subscribed a few months ago to today, it has morphed so much and continues to do so. That is agility in action. Great work. Thank you.
What can I say except?
Great. Ajay is also one of our subscribers, and he asks Akshay, he says, if we can just show him, he says, after adding stocks in the watch list, I am not able to see the valuation you just showed. Can you please show?
Okay, I don't know what you mean by valuation. So let me take HDFC Bank. Are you talking about the price chart, or are you talking about the insight? Sorry, I'm not clear what it is that.
Percentile, he says.
No, the percentile comes only in the value investing. So you see this live insight, value investing. So if you click on this, then you go to the HDFC Bank, and here you will see the valuation chart. Now, this particular rendering is only applicable to the value investing algo. Let me show you, give you an example. So if I take Best Buy. So Best Buy also has a live insight. No, sorry, this is also value investing. J&J has so Johnson & Johnson also has a live insight, except this is alpha 330. Okay, so if I click on this, then I will not see that bell curve, because this is not a value investing insight. This is a alpha 330 insight, which has a very different way of rendering its information. So each algo has a standard sort of visual visual flow and a visual protocol, and depending on which algo the insight is for, you will see that kind of thing. And sometimes there is no insight. So if I look at Axis Bank, there is no insight. So I won't see anything at all. Okay.
Actually, we have some FTM questions, so I just want to take that. Firstly, Rajesh, who's been very excited about the FTM portfolio ever since we launched it. He says, when is it coming, Akshay? That's his question. And then I will take what Rohit.
Rajesh, I wish I could tell you. We had a meeting with SEBI 2 weeks ago. I was personally there. My team was there. They had some questions. We have answered them. But SEBI takes moves at the speed at which it moves. I don't think there's anything serious. They basically wanted a few administrative things which we've sent them. I think we could get approval tomorrow. We could get approval next week. We could get approval week after next. Out of my control, boss. But I'm as anxious as you are to put it out. So we will tell you, and I will make it a point that Prabal or Shruti or somebody reaches out to you specifically and tell you that it's coming. But guys, I will release it to our subscribers first. So please bear this in mind. Even if it's available tomorrow, our subscribers will get it tomorrow. Non-subscribers will have to wait a little bit. So because I think we just, like I said, my primary loyalty is to our paying customers. So you have an opportunity, please subscribe. Then we can do that.
Akshay, let's just start wrapping up. But I just want to read one comment from somebody who's new, Samantha. But the comment is, we also hope to endorse Sriram's statement in a few months. Yes, we're sure you will, Samantha. So we will continue to work very hard and very fast for that to happen.
No, Samantha, I hope you will. And while of course we're very grateful to Sriram for being so fulsome in his praise, and that's always very good. You don't have to tell us that you like us. We know. We can tell. We can tell from whether you log in every day or not. We can tell how long you spend on us. We can tell by what you look at. And then if you choose to tell us, then that is, of course, very, very useful. So, we track these things because these are very important indicators for us. So I hope you will like what you see. And if you ever have any issues, you know how to reach us. We are there every week, every Saturday. We're always there at support@bridgeweave.com. So please use it.
Great. On that note, we will, Prabs, can you just quickly get both things up? What people thought about the webinar today in terms of how useful it was. But one quick announcement for everyone, 31st July, we end this discount that has been going on because, we know it was important for us to get our early adopters in. We formally launched in the market. So this is your 1 week to make the most of this 15% discount. We will have a limited discount, the following week, but it will be small, 15%. at the price that we have at the moment, I think you should grab it. So grab it now. The quarterly plan and the annual plan is what is discounted at 15%. Very easy to reach us. Most of you are people who've already downloaded InvestorAi. I've seen a lot of new people come in. Junius and his friends, they just wrote in. So thank you for coming in. We hope you really like the app and you do subscribe, because the free plan is going to give you one insight only, which may not give you the whole power of what the app really is, and for you to take action as well to see how awesome our app is. So do that, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Write into support@bridgeweave.com. Come into the Telegram group. We'd love to continue our conversations there. So till then, see you. Thank you from everyone here at the InvestorAi Academy. See you next week. It's the FTM portfolio special next week. So please don't miss out on that, and see you there. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.